when it comes to electing local officials, many people think about who's running for a town council or the mayor position. There are students and residents that are unfamiliar with the role of the county clerk. What can you tell students about the importance of electing a county clerk and how the position affect their lives?
Yeah, so I think the county clerk's position is a really important position, especially for students, because it's a countywide position, but also it is a position that is the transparent access to a lot of information in government. If you're looking for property records, court records, housing records, things like that, you're going to the clerk's office, and it's important to have people that want to help make that information as transparent as possible in these offices. So that way it's easier to get the information. It makes government more transparent, and it also makes people more confident that the information they're getting from their government is more correct and is authentic. Because sometimes if you have to go through multiple people or jump through multiple hoops, people might not trust where that information is coming from. You should be able to access information online in an easy way because it's the 21st century. If you can deposit a check through an app on your phone, you should be able to find basic government information on your phone or on a computer or just on the internet in general. And there's so much information that the county clerk and the county currently has, just currently sitting in bankers' boxes collecting dust because they have not been digitized, which is, in my opinion, not good government and not transparent government.
Thank you for answering that question. I'm going to move on to the next question that I have.
Mm-hmm.
How has your past experience, whether as a Binghamton student or as a professional, prepared you for the county clerk position?
Yeah, so like you mentioned, I am a Binghamton University grad. Poli-sci was my study. I was also an RA on campus in Newing. So if anyone out here is watching it, I was in Endicott, which was one of the best times as a student. But I really think both my time as a student and my professional career have really given me a lot of expertise that will lend itself to this kind of position. After graduating, I worked for Assemblywoman Donald Part of where I actually also currently work. But I split it up in between. I worked for Congressman Anthony Brindisi. And in both of those offices, my main focus was helping people navigate government, solving people's issues, getting them where they needed to go, whether it was getting stimulus checks, whether it was helping constituents who got stuck overseas during the pandemic because flights ceased and airlines were shut down from being able to take off from certain airspaces. A lot of my experience is just in helping people solve issues with government. And I think the clerk's office is very much in tune with that. They're not a political position. It's not a place where I'm going to be making healthcare policy or education policy. It's a place where I am going to be spending every day trying to help people, whether it's at the DMV, whether it's submitting passports, whether it's working with the state, local, or federal levels, helping them get where they need to go and get their problem solved. While as a student, I spent a lot of time both as an RA and also with the CCE trying to help people get registered to vote, trying to help answer questions so that way people would want to become voters, or as an RA helping people when they had an issue somewhere on campus. And I think all of these experiences have really lended itself to being able to be a good county clerk candidate, because at the base level, this job is just about helping people. And I think all of my experience from Binghamton University on has really lent itself to being able to just help people at the base level.
Thank you for answering that question as well. We're going to proceed forward with the next question.
Okay.
You have discussed modernizing the clerk role in your campaign messages. Mm-hmm. Can you talk about how you would approach the role differently to help solve community issues while maintaining the existing core function of the position?
Yeah, of course. So Broome County, as I mentioned, houses a lot of especially property information, housing information, and documentation. And I really think the county clerk can take an active role in trying to help keep people in their homes, whether it's a tenant who is facing eviction or a landlord or just a homeowner who is at risk of foreclosure. Our office is where tax liens, mortgage liens, different kinds of records are kept. And other counties have found ways to partner with nonprofits, other government entities to help make sure that when some of these documents are filed, we can give a warning to nonprofits that then can reach out to the constituent to try to help make sure that they can stay in their home. So that way they aren't getting evicted or losing their property that they might have lived in for years and years or even decades. That's one way that I really want to modernize the office to help people. It's a very low cost option that just is very timely because of the housing crisis that we are facing currently and that we are going to continue to face over the coming months after the pandemic. Another aspect that I'm really looking forward to is just updating the databases and websites we use. If you go on the Go BC Clerk website, it feels like something out of Windows 98. It's old, it's clunky, it's hard to use. If you don't type in the exact thing you're looking for, you're not going to find it. There are other databases, there are other providers that we can use that will be the same cost, but will provide a better service, a more modern service. And if we have the availability and the funds to do it, I would love to potentially try to partner with someone like Binghamton University, Watson School of Engineering, to have students potentially create the databases we use as a way to add something to their resume, but also to give back to the community that they're calling home for potentially 4, 5, 6 years. Something that's really important to me is fostering that relationship between Binghamton University and the people that might not be as connected to the university that live in the community. I think government has a great avenue to bringing people together. And that's something I really want to do because I think it would give students a great chance to give back, but also get some quality experience that if they decide they don't want to stay here after graduation, they can bring forward with them and show some work examples of the positive difference and the positive work they did while here in Binghamton.
Thank you. Thank you for answering that question. I have one final question for you.
Okay.
Is there anything else you would like to share to help students decide who deserves their vote?
Yeah, so like I mentioned previously, I'm a Binghamton University grad. I'm also 27 years old. I really want to bring a new age to government. I want to bring more young people into government, people, and also just underrepresented populations into government because we need change. We are reaching a point where it's time that like our generation is getting more involved in the civic process. Millennials, Gen Z are becoming a bigger and bigger swath of the voting population in electorates across the country, but we are not using that to make change, such as trying to affect change on climate change or other issues that are really pressing to our generation. I really want to use my candidacy to show that young people can make a difference, that they can jump in, they can run for office, whether it's county clerk or even if it's city council or town board or even school board. I think it's really important that younger people get engaged, run, and if they don't run, even just vote or just get more civically engaged in their community. On top of that, I really want to try to make government more trustworthy and just be a place that people can rely on. Government, whether it's at the federal level, state level, local level, has become so politicized, both in the political offices, but also in the bureaucracy. My office, while it is an elected position, I think is more bureaucratic. And so I want to try to eliminate some of the politics from this office by eliminating political appointee positions. So that way it's the best qualified people that are getting these jobs, not the best connected. We need people that are more focused on the job at hand and are less focused on getting their boss reelected to keep their job. It's my job to get reelected. It's not my employee's job to help me get reelected. And so I really just want to hire people that are just as excited as me to try to modernize government, make it more accessible, make it more transparent, because I think it'll make our community better and it'll also make the trust in government a little bit better and it'll go a long way, I think, in other aspects of government to trying to solidify that trust that I think has been broken in the past couple of years.
Well, that is the end of all of the questions that I have for you. Thank you so much for coming today. And students, please make sure to check out other videos to see all of the other candidates, and don't forget to vote on November 2nd. If you have any questions, please come to the Center for Civic Engagement, which is located across from the marketplace. Thank you once again, Mr. Harris.
Thank you for having me, and go out and vote, whether it's for me, someone else, just make your voice heard.